Hi all. This is about critical thinking, which you have to have when it comes to university studies. So, in the first place, what is critical thinking? Critical thinking has been defined in many ways, but is essentially the process of deliberate, systematic, and logical thinking on any subject while considering bias or assumptions that may affect your discussion. This is really important when it comes to writing your essays. You may see this word in most of the marking rubrics. So that is why you need to clearly understand what this is before attempting your essays. Okay, let's move on to um, finding some facts related to a critical thinker. Okay, so there are some questions that you may be able to ask from yourself. Some of them are, what do I already know? What do I need to work out? So that in turns give you a particular goal, a focus for your writing. Then the next question that you may ask yourself is what? Is this fact or opinion? I mean, is this a fact or an opinion, basically? What is it? Applies relevant and well-focused questions to information and opinions. In this case, you need to identify the distinction between a fact and an opinion. We all may have opinions, different opinions, but to make it more credible or reliable, we call it a fact, where you have some credible sources to back up those facts. That's the main difference. All right. How do I know this? So we need to see how we know all this. In that case, you need to seek clarity, consistency, and accuracy. Then we move on to evidence. You may ask yourself, you have to ask yourself, what evidence do they have for their claims or conclusions? So within the readings, you may find out there could be tests of conclusions or reasoning in specific relevant areas. Then the next question, why does that happen? Or the question why attempts to understand the causes, effects, and implications of events, systems, and ideas. So raising the why question within your thinking is really, really important. Then you move on to what are the stated and unstated assumptions in this information. Some authors may not have included all the assumptions, which means unstated assumptions. In that case, you may feel like finding if any other author has mentioned about these um, unstated areas. So that gives you a kind of thinking, okay, I might read something more. So strives to recognize bias, including their own. Once you have different opinions or facts, I may call, then you may be able to have an unbiased thinking, which may produce an unbiased piece of writing. All right. Then the last question, what other ways can we think about on this? So once again, it's more or less, it's about being unbiased. There could be alternative ideas, views, and information. So it's up to you to find out who has stated them or Where can you find them? And what are they? Okay, so critical thinking is a skill that you need to develop with lots of reading over and over again and more activities. Okay, let's move on to the other topic, thinking at university, which you need at this point. At high school, most learning occurs at the levels of knowledge, understanding, and application, which we all may have done. We know, right? If we know the knowledge, we write that in our assignment at school level. So that's done. Then understanding is why some react with others or conduct experiments, which is the application. However, your markers will expect more. Markers often write comments on assignments which only communicate these lower levels of thinking, such as, this is just description, analyze this in more detail, or you haven't understood the issues. Once you get your case studies back, you will also realize that I may have written in some comments, in some essays, in some case studies that being more analytical would have been worked or something. So let's see what is meant by these terms. Okay, the thinking you need, you in the sense at this university level. What are they? So this is a pyramid below. This is based on Bloom's taxonomy of intellectual behavior, right? So there is an activity based on this pyramid, right? Once you do it, once you go through this, and once you read that activity, you will realize, oh, it's some kind of familiarizing myself, right? So what is creating? Creating is synthesizing ideas from different sources or materials to create new perspectives or a new or original product. Evaluation. Judging the value of research based on criteria or standards, comparing ideas and identifying the strengths and weaknesses of scholarly work. Then let's see what analysis is. That is, examining the reasons for theories, finding evidence, and seeing relationships between parts of something. Application is meant to be using ideas in new ways and applying theories to real situations. Understanding, what is it? Describing what knowledge means, finding the main ideas, summarizing, explaining trends as in graphs, and significances. So knowledge, remembering the facts, terms, concepts, and principles of your subject. So as we discussed a little earlier, all these three bottom skills we have had at school level. So knowledge, understanding, application. Up to that point, yes, I know you all are aware of what you must do. However, when it comes to university level, you need to have a proper knowledge of what analysis is, how we are going to analyze something, and same with evaluation and creating. Okay, so the top three intellectual behaviors, what are they? As we told, analysis, evaluation, and creating. Let's see what each of these mean. Analysis refers to the process of examining the parts of a whole, the causes and results of events, and differences between phenomena. Now look at the example. This will give you a clearer idea. For example, an economic student may be asked to analyze the causes of the global financial crisis of 2008 to 2009. To get a high mark, the student would have to do more than describe what happened. It may be including a reason. He or she would be expected to name the main factors, explain which of these were the most important, and consider how the crisis could have been avoided. You see the extra stuff that you need to include, obviously. Not only the fact, but what were the reasons, what were the causes, and um, how has this happened, all those things. Okay, and also you need to consider how this can be avoided. So thinking ahead. Okay, evaluation is the second one which we were talking. Evaluation may seem the most difficult because why? It involves expressing opinions about the work of other people or expressing a justification for choices or ideas. It must follow uh, from other types of thinking because you must understand the theories and ideas of a subject area in order to evaluate them successfully. For example, what? The engineering student solving a design problem that has many possible solutions. The student would choose the best solution by identifying, comparing, and testing the theories and ideas related to the design problem. So evaluation includes a lot of additional stages. Okay, let's move on to creating. The process of joining or combining information and ideas from different sources to create something new. Now it's clear, I think. Through this process, like analysis, evaluation, what do they expect at university level? You to be creating something new. That is why we need you to think critically, because that will lead you to create something on your own. Okay, so let's look at all these things and just consider what you will be doing in your essay before we move on to the next assignments. Good luck with that.